Welcome to the Daily Message. I'm Dane Spotts. A wise man once said, "It is possible that a man could live twice as long if he didn't spend the first half of his life acquiring habits that shorten the other half." In our hurry-worry world of super busyness, deadlines, and getting ahead, we're often so busy going to and fro, overwhelmed with work we don't really like, juggling responsibilities from our families to social obligations and personal commitments, we're drained of energy to really enjoy any of it. The always-on mindset, being connected to social media and entertainments as a way of escaping the drudge of it all, buying things we think we need to get ahead in life, well, it's exhausting. And are we truly living? You've heard me talk on this a lot. This idea of living a life of meaning and purpose. After all, what is this thing called life really all about? And it's one thing to say it out loud, and it may sound good, but when you're so busy with keeping busy, doing the things you think are necessary to get you through the day and create the life you think you need, just the fatigue of it all blinds you to the point of it all. And that brings me to the point of this message, which has been a concern for thinkers and philosophers throughout history, me included and you too. And that is, a life unexamined falls prey to falling in this trap of mindless doing and climbing the ladder of so-called success, pursuing constant activity thinking that we're accomplishing something, chasing the buck or whatever you want to call it, that is ultimately unfulfilling. This is, of course, why people go through midlife crisis, because it finally all catches up to them, and they have affairs, they gamble away their money, commit self-sabotage of their life in extreme ways, all just to experience some aliveness. And all that's really totally unnecessary. If you have examined your life and you know who you are, and your daily activities have meaning and purpose with a set of moral values that guide your compass, that's all you need to be fulfilled. The question is, have you done the work of self-examining your life? Even in your 20s or 30s, you should be doing this, because you'll blink and soon enough you're 40, and then 60, and so on. And then what? You need a midlife crisis then to wake you up? Ask yourself this, no matter where you are now. Am I on the right track? Is most of my daily activities consumed by the pursuit of wealth, power, and pleasure, neglecting the true purpose of life, which is the pursuit of wisdom and self-knowledge to live well? I have not sought during my life to amass wealth and to adorn my body, but I have sought to adorn my soul with the jewels of wisdom, patience, and above all, with a love of liberty. Socrates declared this. He famously said, "Beware of the barrenness of a busy life." Imagine that, 2,000 years ago, and he's already calling out the dangers of being too busy. It's like he foresaw our modern addiction to checking emails at midnight. Now fast forward to the 19th century, and we bump into another great mind, Henry David Thoreau. This guy took social distancing to a whole new level. He built himself a cabin in the woods and lived there for 2 years just to live deliberately, as he called it. He wanted to strip life down to its essentials and see what was left. Thoreau advocated for living a deliberate life, one that's consciously chosen and self-directed. In Walden, he wrote, "I went to the woods because I wished to live deliberately, to front only the essential facts of life and see if I could not learn what it had to teach, and not when I came to die discover that I had not lived." Thoreau believed that by simplifying our lives and focusing on what truly matters, we could live more purposefully and meaningfully. Spoiler alert, he found that simplicity in nature brought him closer to understanding life's true meaning. And those moments of living became all important. Everything slowed down for him, and there was a clarity about what is truly important in life. So what can we learn from these two wise men? Well, for starters, it's not about how many items we tick off on our to-do list or how many likes we get on Instagram. It's about living with intention and purpose. How can you do that without abandoning your current life completely? Well, let's do a little experiment. Think about your typical day. How much of it is spent doing things that truly matter to you? How much time do you spend lost in the whirlwind of tasks and distractions? It's really easy to get caught up in the hustle and bustle. But as Socrates warned, we might end up with a barren life, full of activity, but lacking in real substance. No, I'm not suggesting we all run off to the woods like Thoreau, although a weekend retreat does sound kind of nice, doesn't it? But what if we took a little time each day just to pause and reflect? What if we asked ourselves, is this activity bringing me joy? Is it helping me grow? Is it in line with my values? Imagine if we start each day with a clear intention, focusing on what truly matters. We might find that we're not just going through the motions, but actually living a life filled with purpose and meaning. And who knows, we might even find that elusive thing called happiness along the way. The secret of happiness, you see, is not found in seeking more, but in developing the capacity to enjoy less, he said. That means choosing meaningful work over chasing money and deadlines. Socrates and Thoreau both highlight the importance of introspection and self-awareness in living a meaningful life. Socrates believed that true fulfillment is found in the internal quest for meaning and virtue, which requires downtime and mental space. Luxuries often sacrificed in the name of busyness. The real important thing is not to live, but to live well. And to live well meant, along with more enjoyable things in life, to live according to your principles. To apply the wisdom of Socrates and Thoreau in our lives, we need to conduct a time audit to understand where our time truly goes and align our activities with our core values. We should schedule time for reflection, taking moments each day or week to introspect and assess our progress. Thoreau's practice of spending time in nature is a powerful way to reconnect with ourselves and gain clarity on what truly matters. The takeaway here is this: living a life of meaning and purpose requires a deliberate approach, one that prioritizes introspection, self-awareness, and alignment with your core values. By heeding the advice of Socrates and Thoreau, you can cultivate a life that is not just busy, but rich, meaningful, and truly your own. And you do this by self-examination, thinking about your life, your activities, and the things that you do that really matter. And perhaps there's a lot less that you really need to do to enjoy things a whole lot more, especially in the second half of your life. After all, it's only your life. What are you going to do about it?